Okay, so today I think that we are going to implement a variable into our human design chart. So I'm going to go back into the charts folder. And I could actually make this into an environment variable, but maybe I don't want to. So, okay, and I should probably also set it to be not on transits by default, because that was also like a thing that I did for development purposes. So I'll go, let's see. Human design right here. Okay, so now we just land on the human design. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement the little arrows, right, and the variables, right, like this. So what the variables are the little arrows that are next to the chart, and they tell you things like how your brain works and how your mind works and how you're best suited to your environment and things like that. And let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to hop over to genetic matrix. So zooming in here. So this is my genetic matrix chart. And so there are these arrows over here. So there's this one right here next to the, so they're under the like conscious and unconscious sides of the chart. And the conscious side of the chart representing our birthday, the unconscious side of the chart representing our design day. And they either point left or right, and then they also have numbers next to them. So these numbers are, okay, my screen froze for a little bit there. Yeah, I think it's just genetic matrix. It's kind of a flaky program. So these numbers represent the color and the tone of the planetary position. And so what that means is there's the gate, which is like dividing the 360 degrees into 64, right? And we see that here. And then there's the line, which divides the gate into 6. And so the line, there's 384 lines in the Zodiac, so it's about a little less than a degree, like 0.93 degrees. And then each line is further subdivided into color. There's 6 colors. They're numbered. They're not named. And then each color is subdivided into 6 tones, and each tone is subdivided into 5 bases. And so those are just like getting smaller, kind of like the idea of degrees, minutes, and seconds in like traditional astrology, but a little bit different because it's like divided by 6 and divided by 6 and divided by 6 instead of by 60. So, so I'm going to need to start with the server side because I don't even have this implemented in the server. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go into, and I think I talked about this in the last little live coding video I did, but my server for this application runs a protocol called GraphQL. And so that means, like, if you're familiar with server-side programming, you're probably familiar with REST, where you basically just request a resource, and I would say, like, give me a profile, and it would give me everything back, right? With GraphQL, and I think GraphQL is really perfect for something like astrology or human design, because you don't, like, if I just, like, said, give me everything for this, like, it would be a huge amount of data, right? And sometimes I don't need all that data. And sometimes I want to just implement like a new feature under a sub thing, and I don't want to have to add like a whole new endpoint to do that. I just want to add a field on the query. So this is not a GraphQL tutorial, but I will kind of share a little bit about GraphQL as I'm going because it is it's pretty relevant to what I'm doing. So if you're interested in a basics of GraphQL, let me know, and we can do like a tutorial about implementing a human design chart calculator in GraphQL, because that is like, oh, I already did that and it's fun. So anyway, okay. So we are going to go over to the server code base. I'm going to close a bunch of these windows because I don't need all of these open. And so what we're going to do, like, I guess I can kind of give you a little bit of a tour of the code base. So there's two folders, one for the client, one for the server. They're all under the same repository. It's not currently open source right now because there is some like it's not pretty code. I'm not ready to share it, but I may open source it in the future. I probably will. But so under the server folder, they're both written in JavaScript. The front end is written in React. The back end is written using GraphQL. And so in the server folder, in the source folder, there's a folder called schema, and this is where our GraphQL schema files live. So calculate charts. Let's see. So I need to figure out where I want to put the color and tone and base in. So like a gate has a line, has a color, has a tone, has a base. And so this is going to be, it's kind of related to the Zodiac position, but it's not the same. So let's see. Channels, type, file. Let's actually, so I'm going to hop back over. So this is the GraphQL sandbox that you're looking at right now. And what this is showing is like basically it's just like a way of interfacing with the back end without having to do any of the front end. So I have a ton of like queries and stuff open here. So I'm just gonna close a bunch of these because we're not actually. I turned off the login logout client chart stuff for now because I don't really feel like managing that on the server yet. But what I want is to have birth profile. So this is what when you put in an input. Right, like this. And it's just a birth date, latitude, and longitude. It's going to give you back all the information about that birth, like that person's date, like their human design. And so I want to add onto a gate location, right? So let's see. There's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so yeah, like a gate location, right? So this is a type, and it has a gate and a line, and basically what I want to do is I want to implement right here, and this is not implemented yet, so it's going to error out if I do it, but color, tone, and base. And I don't know if I'm going to get to base, but I need to do at least color and tone. And so right now it's giving me a little red squiggly line and saying, cannot query field color on type gate location. Okay. So we're going to go over to the server and we're going to find that type, the gate location type. Okay. And let's see where it is. There it is. Okay. So this is basically a location in the Zodiac, but in the gate system is a way to think of it. So let's put color here, and it's going to also be an int. Gate should probably also be an integer, but I don't want to have to go back and update everything. Okay, so now what we do is we put it in the schema file, which is what we've just done. And then it needs to be added to the resolver. And the resolver for the gate location is not in the same place as the type def, which is cute. That's very cute. You know what we can do is we can actually just restart the server and see where we get the error, right? This is not maybe the best. Yeah, okay, so cannot query field color on type gate location. even though I put it in the type def. So let's just double check. We're live coding here, right? Things might. Okay, so it should give me an error, or is it just gonna it just return null? Okay, cute. Okay, so let's go back into. So we've got this helper method called get gate location. So let's go over to that. Get gate location. So we have basically we have these two helper methods that are get gates by degree and lines by degree. And those are coming from this gates and lines file. And this is basically just doing the math to convert from the 360 degree Zodiac into the gates system. So we need to do a little bit of math here. And so we also are going to want to have, oh, hey, look at that, Codebase tone. It's probably not used anywhere else. It looks like I started to do this at one point. Yeah, I did. Okay. And we should call it color tone base, not. We'll make one for each, right? And well, we'll start with color, and then if we decide to add it to the same one. Okay, so let's look at the math for how we did it for the line. So line degrees equals 0.9375. So that's the number of degrees in a line. So then we could say, I'm going to actually move this up into here because I think that's going to be something that I'm going to maybe use here as well. And then we can say const color degrees equals line degrees divided by 6. And then degrees equals color degrees divided by 6. Okay. So this, we're just going to grab our little calculator and put this over here. Okay, so 0. Clear. No. So, okay, so we're going to go 360 divided by 384. So this is the number of degrees in a line. Okay, that's the same as we have here, 0.9375. Okay, so now I'm going to just divide this by 6. And that is 0.015625. Okay. 15625. And then this is going to be this divided by 6 again. And so we have 0.02604166667. Okay. I don't know why I can't grab that. So 0.026041667. Okay. So now we know how many degrees is in a color, how many degrees is in a tone. So what we do here, so there's a little bit of math that we need to do for gate 25 because that's the gate where it wraps around, right? But other than that, we're gonna not worry about that edge case quite yet. Okay. So let's actually we're just going to say const line equals, and this isn't the most efficient way of doing this right now because I'm probably going to be calculating the gate and the line and the color all for the same thing. And so we don't need to redo the computation. I can do a refactor later to figure that out though. That's an optimization. Right now we're going to make, first you make it work, then you make it work well, and then you make the code pretty, right? Don't worry about making it work well before you have it working. Don't worry about making the code pretty before you have it working or before it's working well. Okay, so we're going to get the line, which we're just going to use this helper method up here. And actually, I should probably get the gate too, because I need to know if we're in gate 25. Okay. Just think about this for a minute. So I'm actually going to reference the line lookup table in my book, Guide to the Gates. So this is the appendix. There's an appendix that shows you the gate by Zodiac order. So if you want to know like what gate it is at like Taurus at 25 degrees Taurus, then you can just look it up right here. You go, it's between 2350 and 07 Gemini is gate 8. And then if you want to know what line it is, this is a line table. So let's just say like gate 8 right here starts at Taurus 2430, and then line 1, and then line 2 starts at 25 26 15. So in between line 1 and line 2, those that is going to be divided by 6 now, right? And so we need to figure out in decimals and then also in degrees, minutes, seconds what that looks like. Okay. And I actually haven't worked out the solution in my head right now, so I'm like we're literally live coding as I'm doing this. Okay, so I think what we want to do is we want to basically find the place where the line starts and the place where the line ends. And then divide that into 6 pieces, right? Because that's how we did it for the gate. And that's, I mean, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so, but here I'm referencing a lookup table for the gates because that's like, there's only a certain amount of them, right? Let me open that up. So here, this is like where my data comes from. So each gate has a start and an end, and it's interesting because I don't have seconds in here, which I needed. And this is I wrote this all out by hand when I started this project. So this should have a second, so 30 seconds. Anytime you see a 2 or a 7, it should have a 30 seconds on it. It's not at the 52, it's at the 5230. But the decimal degrees thing is right. So, oops. Let me just move some things around there. So, we're gonna just repeat some logic here. So we're gonna get the gate start and the gate end things, right? And so then we have the beginning and end of the gate, and then we need to find the beginning and the end of the line. I like my little comment here. Is this correct? And it ended up being yes, it's correct. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to have to go in here and add a new field to my gates thing that's called lines. That would be an array of start. You know, I don't want to do that, right? That's going to be too much work. I need to do this computationally. Okay, so then we're going to say login start equals. So the start of the line is going to be line -1 times line degrees plus gate start. So I'm going to just do some console logging here so that I can see if I'm on the right track, because that's how I debug. Okay. And we're gonna make a smaller version of this query that does not get anything that we don't need. Okay. So we don't need design type. We don't need any of this. We don't need any of this. We don't need that. I'm just going to delete all of this. Okay, so. Okay, so we're going to go back to the root query, and we're going to get the birth profile. And we're just going to get a conscious, how about conscious sun, right? Gate, line, color. Okay, so that's what we want. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so my date of birth, right? My gate is 54, my line is 4, and my color is null. But then we're going to go back over to our terminal, and we're going to see that the color never actually got called, because we're never actually calling it. And so we are going to go back into here where it says get gate location. So then we're going to say const color equals color. Oh, I should rename that because that's not a good, let's say color by degree. Can't have the same thing named the same, can't name the same thing twice. Okay, so now we'll restart our server, hop back over here. Failed to fetch. Yeah, cool. Okay. Does not provide an export name color by degree. Export const color by degree. This didn't save the file. Okay. So it's still returning null. And then what do we have in our terminal? Okay, so we have, yeah, so gate 54 line 4 starts at 287.9375. Okay. And we're actually, it looks like we're calculating everything. So that's something we can do to optimize later, is that we can make sure that we're only calculating the thing that we need. Because you can see that here it's actually calculating my entire profile. But that's okay. So we're just going to focus on this first one. Gate 54 line 4 starts at 287.9375. And then let's do a little more console logging. We are looking for the color for decimal degree. So gate 54 line 4 starts at 287.9375. We are looking for the color for 287.9625, blah, 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 right? Okay. So let's just say we've got line start, decimal degree. So the difference equals decimal degree minus line start. And then we're going to do basically the same logic that we have here, where I'm going to do a little rounding and dividing it by 6, right? So to see how many colors there are in between. So let's say let's do a little more logging, because it never hurts. Doesn't hurt to do some logging in development. So okay, so the difference is 0.25074. The color is 0.15. So we should be in color 1 for this one. And that makes sense because, wait, is that right? Okay, let's just sanity check here. So we're going to go over to, where is my genetic matrix? Yeah, okay, yeah, so color 1 and tone 2 on my conscious sun. And then on the conscious nodes, we should have color 3 and tone 2. Okay. So we are going to space out for a minute. Okay, so we can make a little. We actually don't need we don't need gate end. So we've got gate start, line start, and then the colors are going to be. I don't think we're going to actually need this array, but I just want to make it right now for illustration of the point, right? So const color boundaries is going to be an array, and then it's going to be line start plus color. Oops. Color degrees, line start plus 2 times color degrees, line start plus 3 times color degrees. So this is it's not a very pretty array, right? We're gonna just make this line up a little bit here. And this is just for illustration, right? I don't think we actually need this, but this will help you follow my thinking, right? So the colors of gate 54 line 4 are going to be at these degrees. So we're going to just the boundaries of color of colors in gate line are Actually, I'm gonna just be a little less chatty, so we don't have to scroll through so much stuff. Okay. So here we go. The boundaries of gate 54 line 4 are 287.9375, 288.09375, 288.25, 288.40625, 288.5625, 288.71875. So that seems pretty, like, that looks right. Like, those seem pretty sane. So now we just need to find which one of these is this decimal degree before, after, but not before, right? Um, okay. I don't know if I want to do this because this I don't actually want to keep this array. This array is just for estimation. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the modulo, the difference. We're going to see how many times we can divide line degree or color degrees, excuse me, into difference. So we're going to say color equals difference modulo color degrees plus 1, because it's not a 0 indexed, it's a 1 indexed. Okay. And we're going to return it. So let's see if that gets us the right thing. It's still returning no. Probably not actually returning it all the way up to the right place. Gate location. Oh, right here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do a little syntax cleanup here because I actually don't need. There we go. Okay. So we would expect to get line color 1 here. Int cannot represent non-integer value. Okay, I got to do a little rounding. Right. Okay. Yeah, because modulo is going to return a float. So we need to do a little math.floor over here. So we're going to go math.floor of the modulo and then add 1. Okay. And I'm going to go over here. Color 1. Boom. Okay. So let's just do the conscious north node, gate, line, and color. Okay. So my conscious north node is also in color 1. Let's just check genetic matrix. That's not right, okay? So my conscious north node is in gate 52 line 1. It should be color 3. Okay, so something's not right here. Because I don't want the modulo, I want the number of times it goes in. Let's try this again. Yeah, okay, so color 1 and then color 3. Okay, and let's just do unconscious here. Sun, gate, line, color, and then north node, gate line color. Okay, so the unconscious sun should be color 1, and the unconscious north node should be color 2. So let's just check those. Genetic matrix has crashed. Boopity boop boopity boop. No, not that person. I want my chart. Okay, yeah, so my unconscious sun is also color 1, and my unconscious north node is color 2. And is that what we got? Color 1, color 2. Woo! All right. We got color implemented. Okay, and so now we want to do tone. So we're going to do the same kind of, basically the same procedure. So we're going to clean this up a little bit. Because I didn't actually need, remember, I wrote that array out just because it was just for illustration. So I'm going to delete that stuff and then just make sure that it's still working. Looks right. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do the tone. And I think I'm going to do a little refactor here because, like I said, we're doing a lot of rework here because we have gate, line, and color, and then line calls gate, and then color calls gate and line. So it's redoing a lot of logic if you get both of them. And so what I want to do is actually want to just put these into a single method that returns all 3, and then actually it'll eventually be all 4. But I'm going to do that later, again, because this is called in a lot of different places in my code base, and I want to make sure that I am, not messing things up. So we're just going to just repeat this logic again. I know it's not pretty. We're going to do this. And then, so the other thing we need to figure out, so for this one, we need to do gate 25 edge case. And we're going to have to do that for this one as well. And so what I mean by that is gate 25 is where the tropical zodiac starts and ends. So on here, that's the gates. So gate 25 starts at Pisces 2815 and ends at Aries 35230. What that means is that you're going to have decimal degrees that are at 0 and then also at 359 that fall into that gate. And then with the line, it's actually line 2 that it's line 2 that spans. Gate 25 line 2 is what spans that seam in the ring of the year. So yeah, we'll come back to that, but for now I just want to do the tone just to get that out of the way, and then we can go back and we can think about the because I don't think we need to do base because I don't know anybody that actually uses base. It's just kind of like it also happens. Maybe I'll find a use for it eventually, but I don't have one right now, so we're not gonna implement it right now. So. So what I did here is I basically I'm repeating the same logic here. I'm going to put tone in here in my return block. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. So const color start equals line or color -1 times color degrees plus line start. Okay, so we have the place where the color starts and ends, and so I'm just going to do the same thing that I did for the last one, where I'm going to make that array, and we're just going to print it out just for sanity check. So I'm going to say const tone boundaries equals color start plus tone degrees 2 times tone degrees all the way up to 5. Like that. Okay. And so then we're going to do the same log boundaries for gate line color. Okay. And so now we're going to go over here and we're going to add tone to our query. And it's returning null because we're not returning anything. But if I go over here, okay, so yeah, we'll go up to okay, 54 line 4 color 1. So these boundaries are 287.9375, 0.936. 963541667 9895833 288.015625. So this, yeah, this seems right? They're going up by a little at a time, not the same as like they're going up by a little bit at a time. And so we're looking for, I should log out. We are looking for the tone for and the decimal degree. Okay. So up to K54, line 4. K54, line 4, color 1. So we're looking for 287.9625. So 287.9375 and then 287.9635. So we would expect it to be tone 1. 936. No, 9635. Yeah. So we would expect it to be in tone 1. And just sanity checking that over here. Oh, it says I'm in tone 2. Okay. So I'm going to put, I should have just commented it out. I'm going to put this logic back in here. Actually, we're just going to check our logic here. Okay, so let me just make sure. So we're looking for the tone for 287.9625. 9625 is in between this one and this one. Which would be color 1 or tone 1. I'm going to put this array back in here. Okay. Color boundaries for gate 54 line 4 are 287.9375. Okay. And then boundaries for gate 54 line 4 color 1 are 287.9375. Right. That makes sense, right? Because color 1 starts at the beginning of the line. Or the, yeah. Yeah. Color. Okay. Vaguely remember reading something about genetic matrix having a bug. Um, Juniper, can you please be quiet? Um, yeah, because I've read this article before. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna need to go down a rabbit hole here because I remember reading something about there being a some sort of correction that the Jovian system uses that. Yeah, okay, here it is. Genetic matrix charts may not match up with other human design charting softwares, and I want to share why. Well, this is about UGC offset. That's not it. Okay. So, and the reason why this is important is for my chart, it's not going to change the direction of this arrow, right? Because um, the tone determines the direction of the arrow, whether it's facing left or facing right. The color determines the primary variable, and then the tone determines whether it's left or right, like kind of which of the two subtypes it is. Um, if my tone is off by one, that's going to mean that a third of people are going to be in the wrong arrow. So I need to go down a rabbit hole about this this chart calculation thing. So also the dog needs to go outside. So I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, so I'm gonna try another chart calculator and just see what it gives me. Wait a second. Okay. I have to give you my email address. I don't want to consent, but I need the info. Okay. Color 1, tone 2. Color 3, tone 2. Okay. So let's actually add the tone query to a couple more of these and see if it's always off or if it's just off. Okay. Oh, because I'm not actually even ever doing the tone calculation, right? So let's just finish that. So const tone equals math.floor of difference minus difference divided by tone degrees plus 1. Okay, let's just see what we get. Yeah, so tone 1, tone 2, tone 6, tone 3. Okay, and then maybe going back over to here. So it's only off on the sun. It's right on the other two. So it's not an off by 1 error. Man. Okay, let's see what we got. So I'm going to comment them out instead of just deleting them because I might need to come back to them. Okay. So I'm going to just go and do this by hand. Okay. So I am told by my app, which may or may not be 100% accurate, that my conscious sun decimal degree, right, is 287.9625, 287.9625,745. We don't need to get, I don't think we need to get more detailed than that. Okay, so 287. So that is going to be Capricorn. So minus 270 equals 17.9625,745. So it is 17.96 degrees Capricorn. So that's 17 degrees. Actually, we can just pop this into a degree minute second calculator, which we can get on the internet. Decimal degrees, convert. So 287, 57.45, 57. So it's 17 degrees, 57 minutes, and 45.27 seconds. Okay. So, okay, 54. Line 4 starts at 17:56:15. 56:15. The difference is 1 minute and 30.27 seconds. We're going to swap this back to get 1 minute and 30.27 seconds in decimal degrees is 0.025075. Okay. And then .025075 is less than 0.26041. So it should be in tone 1 if my ephemeris calculation is accurate. That's the if. Okay, so let's just double check a little sanity check here, because I actually did learn that my birth time was wrong. Okay, cool. We were just down a rabbit hole because I had my birth time wrong. My whole life, I thought I was told that I was born at 12:45, and then my parents brought my baby book up here, and I was born at 12:49. Okay, so down a rabbit hole for nothing. That was fun, but it helped. Like, we got into the calculations and the mechanics of how color and tone are calculated, and this feels like a really good stopping point. And I've also been recording for an hour. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up our little console logs in here. Looks like I already cleaned them up. Let's just double check and make sure we're not being chatty when we calculate these stuff. Oh, we are still being chatty. Okay, where are we chatting? Oh, did I just not save the file? Okay, yep, cleaned up the chattiness. I'm gonna leave this debugging stuff in here for now. And we haven't done the edge case for gate 25 yet, but I think, like I said, been recording for an hour, so I'll come back and do that in a little bit. And then I'm gonna just oh, I didn't even check out a new branch. So check out B cat line color tone. What have I got? Okay. Yeah, because the stuff that I was doing on the client is not related to this. So add color and tone calculation to the server. Okay. So now I'm going to push it up to the cloud, and then it'll be available in the internet. It's not that the front end is connected to it yet. Okay, I'm going to end there for now, and we'll come back later.